Okay, greetings, patriots, starseeds, light workers, and of course our brave military and our galactic brothers and sisters in the fields fighting to save and protect our Constitution. Welcome to 1776 United, and we are in a worldwide and galactic revolution. And I am Alex West. So, Federal Reserve and the Treasury Reserve. Now, I'm going to convey what 107 is saying and what Alex West is deciphering based on what 107 is saying, okay? Now, he says the Federal Reserve and Treasury Reserve are like two big battleships, and they're lobbing Volkswagens back and forth at each other. Yes and no, but I think the Federal Reserve is dead. I know for a fact that they have or can't print any more money. So, and of course, the value of the fiat currency, no matter who's trying to prop it up right now, it's still not backed by gold. Okay, now they're trying to keep the paper contracts on silver going. Now they're widely overinflated, 365 to 1. They should be like 7 to 1. But, they've got more paper sold than they do silver. So they're in some deep shit. Now, 107 says on the silver, the next price point will be at $50. He's not far off, but I think it's going to exceed that. I think we're at $38, right now, $38.65. That jumped $2.50 just in 2 days last week. I'm more optimistic on exactly what's happening with the silver. So, and gold as well. Gold is not moving as fast as silver is, okay? Now, the globalists and the nationalists are having a huge financial battle. That I agree with. But I also know that the nationals are winning right now. Of course, there is things that we cannot help but notice and see, and that's the attacks, in the Texas floods and the North Carolina floods and hurricanes, the LA fires, and the Lahaina attacks there. These are all stuff that the deep state still has available for their weapons, and we cannot basically throw caution to the wind, I guess, if you want to say it that way. We are still in a deep battle with them, and that's just my my intuition. Anybody that's paying attention right now, watching that this is a chess match. There's multiple chess matches going on right now. And as you move through the chess games, you're knocking soldiers off the board. And this is what's been going on. Soldiers are being knocked off the board. And we're getting down to the near end of what we want to call a financial revaluation or flip over, okay? Now, no matter what we see on the Federal Reserve end with Powell being in there, he's probably going to try to stay in power as long as he can, but I think it's just a matter of time. And a lot of this stuff has to be kicked off the chessboard, so to speak, organically as it, as the money does run out in the banks. You're going to see let's see, every week from here on end. Today is I believe the 12th of July. So this week, you're going to see more big drops in comms and, pivoting towards our, in favor of us, in favor of the nationalists. So, and it's going to be like this every week into the fall. every week it's going to get bigger and better and bigger and better into the fall. So, a lot of people are asking about the EBS. Well, 107 says, well, we're a long ways off, and I kind of disagree with him there. I believe we're extremely close because of the BRICS and what they're doing. They're going to go ahead and do things without the United States, and that's really going to put a fire under Trump's ass to get things moving along. He wants to, and no matter if he wants to protect the dollar, which I don't think he does, I still think there's going to be a clear pathway for the new Treasury note to come out, because he's going to want to be, in the game, right? So, as far as a long ways off, I think maybe 107 is talking about, what's going on in the States right now, and that's fine. But the rest of the world, I know what's happening with it. And this last summit, with another 77 nations joining, to bringing it to 77 nations, now has a majority control of the financial trade. All right. So, as we go through this multiple chess games, you're going to see less and less soldiers, as I said, okay? It's, and you're going to see Russia. This thing's going to come up because, whoever was involved there, and I'm not going to start pointing fingers there, they are going to be held in, and tried as with treason. Okay, that's a war crime offense. That means that they're going to be dealt with by the military tribunals. So it doesn't matter how much they lawyer up, it ain't going to mean a spit of cud, as far as I'm concerned. They can do whatever they want, but they're going to be going down. Now, that'll jump us over to the Epstein files, saying that, okay, whoever's on the Epstein files, they want to, they've been told that they're on it, and they know that they're on it, and they've been compromised. So, Trump's going to do whatever he can to push all this, all his agenda through, before, they bring out and release those, that list. Okay. Now, that being said, Trump is not on the list. Okay. If he was on the list, the Democrats would have been, all over it. But you're going to see before this shit show is finished, there will be no more Democrats. They'll be taken out, and of course the rhinos that have been in bed with the Democrats are going to be also dealt with. So those points I agree with 107. Now, yes, there's going to be a shock and awe coming. And it's going to be 1 week after another, and it's just going to get to a point where, a lot of good things are going to come in for the nationalists, and a lot of bad things are going to come in for the globalists. Okay. Now, before this is all over, Trump's going to declare war crimes against countries that were involved or interference with their elections, 2020 or 2020. Now, who might they be? Canada, Germany, China. Who else? Who else was involved? Italy, maybe Australia. And he's going to go in, and once they have been proven guilty through tribunals, Trump's going to go just take all their gold and silver, because he's not going to fuck around with this no more. He is pissed about how they have tried to do everything, including attempted assassination. And he's not going to forget this. He's not going to forget the people that were in those countries, because they were basically representatives of those countries. And there will be a jag of gold and silver being released for back to the United States or Trump or whatever, or the presidency of whatever sort, and will be filling up the Treasury coffers, for the American people. So, this was not just an attack on the presidency. This was attack on every American citizen in the United States Republic. So we all, as a Canadian, of course, I'm going to stand up, and I'm a nationalist, of course, and I'm going to stand up with the American people and demand that these countries, including my country of Canada, pay back the restitution that they were involved in the 2020 election, along with the Chinese. So, and don't forget, it was the communist Chinese involved, not the 90% of the nationalist Chinese that are there. Okay, so they have 100 million I guess communist Chinese, and then they got 900 million plus nationalist Chinese. So we're definitely outweighing them, okay, in a lot of cases. Excuse me. Now, he will declare war on these countries, and they're going to be shitting their pants because he's not going to allow that to happen. Now, and like I said, again, I want to jump back to this silver and gold thing that's going on. You're going to see, if you start seeing silver starting to move up hard, in radical intervals, that is a telltale sign that the fiat currency has no more strength on the market anymore. And and it'll show that there is an actual American, old American system meltdown that will be happening. Now, like I said, Russia will go first. And then, of course, the Chinese interference and, Epstein and all the bullshit that's going on there. They're going to keep all that stuff, but it is going to start playing out pretty quick. And like I said, the EBS, it could be any time between now and the beginning of the year. That's all I have to say. I feel very confident that it will happen this year, 2025. Okay, I don't see it going into 2026. I just don't see it. Now, the Chinese are definitely guilty of driver's license. They had, invested in a whole bunch of migrants coming in, millions of Chinese migrants coming in through the southern border, thanks to China Joe. And they were all loaded up with U.S. licenses so they can vote to try to change those ballots. Also, there was, several million election pamphlets that were filled out in Biden's favor that they smuggled in and, throughout different counties and whatever, to influence the, and have interference in the Trump presidency. Like I said, the events that the patriots are seeing right now, and the complexity of this thing, a lot of people cannot see exactly how things are playing out. The battle has been taken. It's been taken in so many different directions, I guess you can say. But one thing we have to count on and know for sure is that we are definitely in the driver's seat. And what we're seeing and witnessing right now is cabal retaliation. And I think the shock and awe and the light works are going to start happening here pretty quick. I mean, I know that the financial markets worldwide are moving ahead and they're moving forward with trade and oil of all their precious assets from each country, and they're doing trades without the G7 countries. So, we unfortunately, if we're living in, the United States and whatever, anyways, my time is up. I've got to go. Sorry.